Hello, my name is Stephanie Harlan, and welcome to my classroom. Because we live in a world that is changing so rapidly, the way we find and access information needs to change along with us. This means that students need to learn new informational literacies so that they have the ability to find, access, analyze, and present new information in the 21st century. This leads us to the question, what is a text? The 21st century has become a multimodal world, meaning that texts come in many different modes, and students are no longer just reading books or other written texts, but they will be reading the music they listen to, the movies they watch, and even the video games they play. Since students have so many different texts to read and analyze now, they need to acquire new skills in order to achieve this. Students need to learn media literacies so that they are able to read, research, and analyze the media-filled world in which they are growing up in. And since reading is no longer limited to written texts, writing is changing as well. Writing is producing. Anything from a picture to a movie or a song, the author of these texts is making design-based decisions to portray a message to their audience, which makes them a producer or a writer. I created a multimodal research project for an 11th grade English class that will require students to read, research, and write in ways that are relevant to the 21st century. The essential question for this project is, what does Charlie from The Perks of Being a Wallflower teach us about depression in high school students? Some of the research questions my students will be working with are, what causes depression? What are the effects of depression? What symptoms might depressed high school students show? What are some statistics of depression? What can be done to help depressed high school students? And differences between adolescent and teen depression. The three main texts that my students will be working with are The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky, the movie version of the novel, and the mixtape that Charlie, the main character in the book, makes. To make sure this project remains multimodal, students will have to annotate the movie and the songs for design-based principles that the writer used. Along with the three main texts, students will have to do research to find additional research on the topic of depression. They will learn how to do effective search techniques using keywords, Google operators, and searching for different types of sources. Once my students begin doing research, they will learn how to bookmark and annotate their sources using an online tool called Diigo. Students will learn how to annotate for credibility. Some of the questions they will use to look for credibility are, what is the author's argument? What are the author's biases? What is the author's purpose? And what are the implications? This is what the annotations using Diigo look like, and after looking at this website, I decided that it was credible. After annotating their texts, students will create a concept map to organize their sources and prepare for the writing assignment. In the last part of this project, students will be creating a group podcast where they will discuss the essential question of the project and any research questions they wish to discuss. The podcast can then be shared with the rest of the class or the entire school as a modern and fun way to educate the school on adolescent depression.